and welcome back. Graham, what have you gotten yourself into this time? The music box puzzle, I see. Music is the key to unlocking his memory. Fair enough. Music can be helpful with brain function a lot. Oh. And who is this?
See that? This is Tree Dorman, Amaya's partner.
Grandpa, Amaya doesn't need a partner. She's a strong woman by herself. Besides, he kind of seems underdeveloped.
You may be right.
I always like to call this place the developer's room, the cutting room floor, stuff that was going to be in this game but was sadly cut, for better or for worse. And this guy is one of the most interesting ones. Because there's actually a picture, like concept art you can find online, of like early stuff they were going to put in this game, and he's actually in there. He's alongside of Maya. And what's interesting is the fact that they're labeled as blacksmith couple. And they're holding hands. And Amaya looks a little bit older, actually. Not as old as she looks in, say, for example, Chapter 4. But still, that's rather interesting. Implying that perhaps she and Whisper broke up after a while, perhaps. And then got back together at some point. It's rather interesting. And the shield is there. This could mean nothing, but perhaps he was the one who made that shield.
What are those?
Fairies. I couldn't figure out where they fit in the story.
Perhaps the story was better without them.
That's pretty interesting. Didn't seem to get past the concept art stage, it looks like. I kinda like that grim looking little fairy, but I can see why that wouldn't really fit. Although what's interesting is there's also concept art of early goblin stuff. And there was originally going to be a version of goblins that looked kind of similar to that. It was had more of a leaf themes than a rock theme. That was rather interesting. Although it does make me sort of wonder. I would think they would have handled, say for example, someone like Edgar, or someone like Janesta in this universe, if fairies technically look like little leaf gremlins. Does that mean they're not fairies, or there's a different variation on fairies? I guess that would technically make sense, given the fact that what's classified as a fairy is very, very different depending on where exactly you go in the classic universe. It could very well be that Edgar, for example, is not a fairy in this universe. He could very well be something like an elf. Or he could just be a human. We don't know. Ah, this.
Did I tell you the goblins rode around on rats in the caves?
No, but how does that make any sense?
No. Gwendolyn, I will not grant you this one. The other two, I can understand why they were taken out. It's too complex to add, suddenly give them another love interest. I understand that. And obviously you can't really fit leafy gremlin fairies into the story. They just don't fit. Okay. But the goblin guards on rats? That was originally part of the lost half of chapter 2 that was in the transcript. And I know that because it directly mentioned that, you had to dodge them, you had to sneak around. Probably was part of a form of puzzles. And this also explains why in the world there's rats in the kingdom at all. Like that big rat that we saw that was guarding the chest, for example, next to Graham's jail cell. That was probably like a guard rat. So them riding on rats, I can totally understand that, and I'm kind of sad that it was taken out because that can make sense. Because it's weird in chapter 2 the fact that you managed to get across a chasm and go into the inner chambers of things and have no resistance whatsoever. Anyway, as I'm sure you noticed, there's colored circles around everybody. Therein lies the key. Green, green. I believe that's correct. Oh, wait. No, that is correct, I believe. Yeah.
And Wenty's
Aha.
song. How could I have forgotten Wenty's song? He sang it to Alexander when he first met him.
I think a song would have made that chapter a little too long.
Go off your Broadway chops, Michael, go.
Well, hugs are baked with magic, they're abstract works of art. But hugs don't need equipment, cause they come right from the heart. Hugs you'll find are easy if you learn my recipe. First I'll grab you high and you'll grab low. Don't twist me up like pretzel dough. Next we squeeze our bellies, huddle. Don't make this weird, it's just a cuddle. Waft my musk and count to 3 or mayhaps to infinity. Don't mind my sweat, I'm just obese. Rub my back and then release. The purest form of love and greetings. 1 cup friendship, 10 parts feelings. Platonic or romantic, could be comic or dramatic. Sympathetic, maybe tantric. Every hug is sourced organic. They're a handshake from the heart, 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 heart. Hugs, 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 hugs. Heart and hugs, hugs and heart and hugs, hugs and hugs. Give me a hug.
That was adorable. And depending on what run you're doing, you can get different songs. Wait, what? What do you mean I can't use it again? Aww. I don't accept this. Hang on. Okay, good. Good, it reset things. Good. I wanted to show off the other songs because I won't get another chance to. One moment.
past, Whisper may have raved about how Whisper was brave. But my boldest feat on land or sea is loving you more than I love me. Love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, it does not boast. Hey, love can boast, right? Whoever wrote that has some learning to do. Now, bask in the words I'm about to sing at you. Life was once full of danger and enemies. Whisper was brave, vanquished all foes, I mean ran away speedily, and you tempered my armor and then my heart right from the start. You mended all my shiny parts. You're bold, daring, endowed with a muscular lower jaw. Oh, wait. Hold on. Is that a description of you or moi? And side by side, together you and I watch as Whisper can soar, Whisper can roar, after I'm all done with my chores. Whisper now cooks, Whisper now cleans, does any fetch quest for his queen. But my boldest feat on land or sea is loving you more than I love. And you know that I love me. I love me.
That was cute. That was a cute little love song. Whisper's still a little self-centered, but at least he makes it funny, you know? And he seems pretty happy being a house husband. And the fact that he found someone to love more so than himself, that's character development. That's good. This is the best one.
Sometimes you get into a bind, tangled up in a knot. Don't wake the bull, why set him free when you can be crafty? Hey, little buddy, so the world's gone and hemmed you in. Sure, little buddy, you might be thinking of getting revenge. Don't paw the ground with nostrils streaming. Grab a lumen needle, it's time for weaving. When life treats you badly, that's when you get crafty. No one ever fell apart making macaroni art. Watch your anger slip away while you're braiding macrame. Little buddy, learn to crochet. Time to stitch your anger away. Life can get nasty, but you can stay classy if you get arts and crafty. Oh, I need a nap.
all the songs are wonderful. I'm sad those were taken out. I can see why they were taken out, but I'm still sad that they were lost. Especially that last one. Especially that last one, because it's the only one that I feel actually pertains to Alexander's problems, you know? Like, he gives them, like, a coping mechanism, a way to, like, combat his temper, combat the problems in life he has in life. Because Wendy's kinda, as fun as it is, like, you know, we saw how Alexander reacted to the fact that Wendy wanted to give him a hug, you know. He was uncomfortable. He backed away. He just like, I'm good, thanks. So obviously that song wouldn't work. And Whisper isn't even singing to Alexander. He's singing to Amaya while Alexander's in the room. And as funny as that is, that's also not relevant. But Acorn probably knows exactly what's going on. He's seen someone with a temper like that before. Someone who has been raised in a different lifestyle that isn't doing what a parent wants. He's seen that before. In himself. The wisdom of knowing yourself. That's important. And I do kind of wish that the other two scenes in Chapter 4 did that too. I wish that Acorn and Amaya also gave advice to Graham about Alexander. Like, Amaya doesn't have to go deep. She could just say something along the lines of, like, I don't know. I see a flicker of fire in his stare that I once saw in you. And I warn you, Graham, don't stifle that fire. Or something like that. I don't know. And I think Acorn could have done with it as well. You know, maybe call him his little bull or something. Anyway, let's get out of here. Shall we?
And Wenty's song. How could I have forgotten Wenty's song? He sang it to Alexander when he first met him.
I think a song would have made that chapter a little too long.
Well, hugs are baked with magic, they're abstract works of art. But hugs don't need equipment, cause they come right from the heart. Hugs you'll find are easy if you learn my recipe. First I'll grab you high and you'll grab low. Don't twist me up like pretzel dough. Next we squeeze our bellies, huddle. Don't make this weird, it's just a cuddle. Waft my musk and count to 3 or mayhaps to infinity. Don't mind my sweat, I'm just obese. Rub my back and then release. The purest form of love and greetings. 1 cup friendship, 10 parts feelings. Platonic or romantic, could be comic or dramatic. Sympathetic, maybe tantric. Every hug is sourced organic. They're a handshake from the heart, 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 heart. Hugs, 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 hugs. Heart and hugs, hugs and heart and hugs, hugs and hugs. Give me a hug.
That was lovely.
Oh, there was another puzzle in the ice labyrinth.
No!
It was too hard to understand, but perhaps I was wrong.
No, not this one again!
Find a way to get everyone on the switches.
I I know what you said earlier, that no detail in the story will be overlooked. But sometimes, Graham, sometimes some details just do not matter. Oops. So it's basically a worser form of the Rosella puzzle. I can see why in the road this was cut.
Oh, and there was this whole other hidden Wetzel wolf cave.
Graham?
Did I ever tell you about the time I raced on top of the bridge trolls?
Graham?
What about my sorcery battle with the winged
Grandpa!
ones?
Stop! Your stories were perfect. Didn't you tell me that no story is ever done? It just stops being rewritten?
I will go back and fix them.
Ooh. Didn't you tell me once that no story is ever truly done? It just stops being rewritten? That feels like it's a callback to a line that was never truly said. It's a good line, but no, we haven't heard Graham ever say that. Which is a bit of a shame, because that is a good line, and that does make sense. Wow. Would you look at how far we've come, Graham? A tiny little sapling now come down to this gloriousness.
We were planted in Daventry at the same time, but just like my legacy, this tree would outgrow me.
Hopefully it doesn't grow out too much to the point that it's overtaking the town, because the roots are already kind of breaking into the path here. We might need to prune this thing. Or maybe it's time to plant a new sapling, you know? Town seems rather empty, doesn't it? Rather lonely. It's quiet. Too quiet.
I had beefed up security on that back gate to
Good.
make sure no Wetzel wolves could break in. The lock was crafted from very rare chromium I mined from the caverns in Ceridia. It was resistant to magic and required multiple keys. Of course, I couldn't remember where I had hidden them.
We don't necessarily need to do that right now, though. A more greenery around here. Very pretty.
It seemed like when I was younger, every door was open to me. But as I grew, one by one, they began to close.
Yeah. And there is something symbolic about that, I'm sure. Someone hasn't been back here for a while, have they? Amaya would never allow this to get overgrown.
Locked as well. really only leaves me with one choice.
Mm-hmm. So lonely. But before we go in, there is one thing I want to say about this. In terms of exaggerations, I think that Graham and his stories is compressing things down a little bit in terms of details. In terms of time, he's speeding things up. In terms of space, he's compressing everything down to like a singular point. This is not a town. This is basically a town square, basically. But there's no way that people will be living in just these small buildings, you know? Like, clearly things would be bigger. Things would be bigger and more elaborate. There would be more people here. But because, details-wise, all his friends are gone, the town seems abandoned. I don't think it actually is. But I do think it could have been kind of cool if we saw other citizens a little bit. Maybe just wandering around maybe wandering around Daventry at least a little bit. But I suppose that would make it less lonely, and it kind of would begrudge the point of the fact that his old time is passing away. It's now time for a new generation to rise. Let's go in. Oh.
The sweet smell of starberries still wafted around the oven. It appeared the shop had not been sold yet.
Nostalgia can be a heavy drug, can't it?
Still smelled like something was baking. I could go for some samples.
Yeah. I suppose Winty's fears were right. He never did find someone to take over the bakery for him, did he? That's a bit sad, isn't it? But I suppose we do have to move on. Huh. What's this? Triumph commemorative plate. Ah, that's right. We haven't seen Triumph since Chapter 3's intro, and he was already old in Chapter 3's intro. Oh dear. Yeah, I think we better run. Oh my goodness!
No! No! My castle! I ran back home to make sure everyone was safe.
So on the one hand, I know this is terrible, but that tree looks really cool on fire. It looks like runic patterns on there. I know that's not a good thing. Oh my goodness, there's a lot more fire in this than I remembered. Oh no, King Glen is on fire again. Oh, that's terrible. Who is doing this? What beast has been set upon Daventry that is doing this? You got this. Good. Now run. You.
Well, hello there, friend.
Manny, hasn't your game grown tired and old?
Oh, I'm quite finished expending my efforts to refine this cesspit. I sacrificed my best years to the pursuit of a better Daventry. Now there's nothing left for me to do except watch as it burns to the ground and to hope that it will all be forgotten.
It was never about a better Daventry, and you know it. You just want to prove you're better than me.
Yeah.
Better than you? What have you ever contributed to this kingdom? If I didn't rig the night tournament, you wouldn't even be standing here. No, you owe your entire legacy to all the Cretans that sacrificed their lives to build it.
Well then, leave my family out of this. Come out of hiding and face me alone. I'll grant you the rematch you so desperately seek.
Graham, your bones are too weak for a duel of strength, and your ankles would fracture in any contest of speed. Would your rusty memory even provide any decent competition in a game of wits?
What's the matter, Manny? Are you afraid if I win you will run out of excuses for why you were never crowned king?
All right. First, prove to me that you're still strong and quick. You know where to find me.
All right, mine, don't fail me now.
No going back, it seems. And you notice, everything is burning down, ashes to ashes. But new growth can rise from ashes, can't it? But speaking of fire, did you notice something seems to be missing? Something important that was clearly being set up and never truly had a payoff. Remember back in chapter 2 when Graham got that vision and a magic mirror that said that he would face off against Hornswoggle, the dragon? And yet, he's at the age where he would come across that. And yet, we never see him. That confrontation scene never happens. And it is very disappointing, because they clearly were setting that up. They clearly were trying to lead that in. And yet, executive meddling told them to cut out a lot of things, because this game didn't sell very well. It was not very popular. It started out popular. People were talking about it. But the vocal minority spoke up a bit too loudly. Those who proclaimed this game as bad and ruined their childhoods and ruined the series for them. Just from the first chapter. From the mere suggestion that Graham could be skinny and awkward and gangly and have action sequences and not be portrayed as a buff, virile stoic. That he was written out of character. That the game was annoying and everyone was written incorrectly. And they were surfing mattresses and fighting off dragons and such. And that's not King's Quest. That's not what I grew up with. Therefore, that's bad. It's too goofy. Therefore, it's bad. It's not exactly like what I wanted. Therefore, it's bad. All that rose up. And the executives heard that. And the developers, the odd gentlemen, heard that. And they tried their best to please a crowd that, well, couldn't be pleased. They don't like things that are goofy? Well, let's make the chapter darker. Okay, too dark? Fair enough. Let's go for a little bit lighter. Maybe something a little more story heavy. No? You want something more... You want something a little more puzzle heavy? Okay, let's do that. People don't like that? Well, what are we to do then? And, well, here we are. This is still a good game. It's still a very good game. It's still one of my favorite chapters. It's still one of my favorite games of all time. But there clearly was stuff that was cut, and it is a really big shame. And what's sadder is the fact that it must have been cut off very early enough in development to the point that there's no lines about it in the transcript. So it must have been cut fairly on in development of this chapter. So we don't even know how in the world we would have handled Hornswoggle in the end, which is really, really sad. But I think in the end, the game is still very, very good. Despite the problems, despite the fact that things were obviously cut, it's still a complete story, which is good. And that's ultimately what we all wanted, right? We don't want to cut things off at a cliffhanger. We don't want to just set something up and then never do anything with it. The game is still good. It's not perfect. There are definitely things that I personally would do better. There are things that I personally would have changed. There's things I would have brought back. There are things I would have done with that. And maybe I will write a script on if I were rewriting this in a way. I don't think I'll really change all that much. I think it probably would, like the basic premise, I probably would all keep all these, you know? But I think I would probably add a few things back in. I wish this game had a director's cut. I wish this game had a sequel of some kind, but sadly, we don't. And in a way, you could technically argue that Manny is symbolic of that vocal minority. Those who will never be satisfied with what they have. And thusly, they decide, you know what? We're just gonna burn it all down. And just forget all about it. How cruel of you. But we have our mission now. We have the back gate key. Doesn't have to be all bad. Like I said. Ooh. This can be fixed. This all can be fixed. Things will heal. Things will get better. One down, 3 to go. We're coming for you, Manny. Let's end this soon. You will no longer be a thorn in our side very, very soon. And on that rather grim note, I think I'm going to end things here. That's enough storytelling for now. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you again soon. Next time, I think we should go around Daventry a little bit more. See what's changed. See if we can find those other keys.